What's up, y'all? Um, Lolo Jones. Today we're going to talk about Lolo Jones. I hope you all can hear me. What's up, you all? What's up? I am on YouTube. Hopefully, you all can hear me. But Lolo Jones, I stumbled across her Instagram a couple of um, hold on, couple of days ago, and I just wanted to talk about what's up, you all. I just want to talk about Lolo Jones and her thought process. I'm gonna read something that she put on social media, and I'm gonna let you all know what I mean. Because a lot of times, women are talking and they're not really being honest. What's up? Is it Arita? What's up, Arita from the Yay? What's up? Um, a lot of women, when they talk about what a good woman is, the good woman standard is a standard given by women. It's not actually given by men. And that's really what I see as the root to most of these problems. Um, for example, God's perfection or God's idea of perfection is not what the world's idea of perfection is. So it's the same concept with men and women. Women are saying they're good women based on a woman's standards, but you being a good woman is really based on a man's standards, because who could tell you that you were a good woman if it wasn't a man, and vice versa? Who could tell a man that he's not good if it wasn't for a woman? Because a woman's going to know who that man really is on an intimate level. But the standards for being a good woman aren't given by women, because if women are given the standard for being a good woman, they'll always grade on a curve. There'll always be a curve when women are evaluating what's good in a woman and what's not good. I'm gonna go Lolo Jones real quick, and I'm gonna read what she put down. Now, now, really, I know her issue, and many of you all like Lolo because you feel sorry for her. You feel like she's doing what's right, but just because she's a virgin, it doesn't make her a good woman, because you got to evaluate what's her intent behind being a virgin. Is her intent to honor God, or is her intent to gain leverage in the dating market? Those are two different intents, two different incentives. Are you a virgin to honor God, or are you a virgin to gain leverage? So a lot of women have to evaluate, what is your intent? What's your intent? Let me go to her. Here it goes right here. Now, I'm going to say this as well. What's up, Doug? Today we're talking about Lolo Jones, and we're talking about what a good woman is, and we're talking about why Lolo Jones is losing. Lolo Jones, she has everything going for her. She's attractive, athlete. I'm assuming she makes good money, has had a great career, decorated, always in the media, all these things. But when it comes to dating, she fails miserably. So how can Lolo Jones be successful at everything else in life except when it comes to dating? Now, most women will say, oh, it's because of men. Most women will never say that it's because she doesn't put forth the same effort she does to her career towards being a wife. You notice how when these women are talking, just think now, They always say, I want to be married, I want a husband. These women never say, I want to be a good wife. I want to make a man happy. I want to turn a house into a home. I want to be someone's better half. I want to support a man. I want to love a man. I want to honor a man. Why is it when these women are giving their spiels to get married, it's never anything edifying when it comes to being a wife? You got groups that support the sex workers. You got groups that support women that want abortions. You got the groups that support the transformers. You got groups that support all these facets of what being a woman is, but you don't have no groups out there that are advocating for women being wives. Ask yourself why. Why, out of all this push to support and elevate women, there is not anything out there telling women how to be a wife or to be a wife? There's a reason why. And all I hear is you got to hold the men and women accountable. There is no agenda out there to make men stronger. There is no agenda out there for men to oppress women besides the transformer agenda. You all want me to hold men accountable on something that's not involving men. We're talking about the feminist agenda. We're talking about what feminism is doing, what Black girl magic is doing, what yes, queen, slay queen. We're talking about what that's doing. That's not about men. There's no propaganda or agenda out there that is elevating men and telling men to be men. There's none. There's only propaganda telling men to be weak and soft and cowardly. So you're asking me to address men to take the focus off of you. No. Cynthia G literally got on social media and said, you all should abort Black male babies. And she's not canceled. How does Cynthia, imagine if I got on my platform and said, now listen, there are folks that don't want me on their platform just for me saying this. Can you imagine if I said we got to abort Black female children? I'd be canceled immediately. So how does Cynthia G make the statement and she doesn't get canceled by women, but to add insult to injury, she gets invited on major network platforms? Do you know how insane this is? So when I talk about women and accountability, all I have to do is look at who you all cancel. And you don't cancel any women that are the detriment to society. You didn't cancel Kamala Harris. You didn't cancel the Woman King. You didn't cancel Cardi B. You didn't cancel Megan. You didn't cancel Hillary Clinton. You don't cancel any woman that is the detriment to society. So when I speak about accountability, don't tell me about the men, because men hold men accountable. Don't tell me they don't. There is no mass mainstream media movement supporting Future. None. Kevin Samuels was not on a major network. You had thousands upon thousands of Black women signing petitions to get him removed from social media. But yet, when it comes to these transformers, we're going to get into it, these transformers are saying, I'm more of a woman than you, and you all cheer them on. So I'm telling you right now, ladies, if you support these wicked and demonic agendas, no righteous man is going to get with you. No self-respecting man with any kind of backbone and principle is going to get with you if you endorse all this foolishness, all these transformers, all this mess. They're not going to get with you, because that kind of thinking spills over into the home. That kind of thinking spills over into the home. How you going to sit there and cheer on a transformer all day and then come home and be a wife to a husband? It's not going to work. It's a conflicting viewpoint. It's a conflicting ideology. At the end of the day, you don't set the standard for what a good woman is. A man does. I'm not going to ask a woman, is she a good woman, because she's going to say yes. You'll see a bunch of men saying, listen, I know I ain't worth nothing. I know I ain't worth 2 cent Mexican money. How many men do you see admitting they ain't worth nothing? Now flip it. How many women do you see admitting they ain't worth nothing? Women glorify being toxic. And all y'all can tell me is, I got to hold the men accountable. I'm telling y'all, don't deal with these jugs and these bums. Don't even deal with them. I speak about low character, cowardly, and weak men all the time. But the moment I hold a woman accountable, now all of a sudden, I got to bring the men back in. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. LOLO Jones invested her whole life into her career. And now when it's time to get a husband, she want to sit back and wait on God. I will not do it. You think God's going to honor her, please? God does not exist in desperation. God is moved by faith. God ain't moved by crying and slinging snot, all them crocodile tears. God is moved by faith. LOLO Jones is throwing herself on the mercy of God, but she done gave the world 40 years. No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. It's not going to work. He bashing women. He bashing women. How am I bashing women if I'm telling women to save themselves for marriage? How am I pointing the finger at women if I'm telling women to value their body? How am I bashing women? It doesn't even make any sense. Ayanna Van Zant fixed my life. Ayanna Van Zant was getting death threats because she dared to hold Black Girl Magic accountable. She had to stop doing her show out of fear for her life from Black Girl Magic. So you mean to tell me y'all didn't like Kevin Samuels and you didn't like Ayanna? And I'm the problem? No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am. And if you're a transformer, no, sir. No, ma'am. If you're a woman, if you're a transformer, no, sir. But let me read Lolo's plea back in May. Tonight, I blocked the guy I was talking to for 8 months. My heart just couldn't take it anymore. He gave me so many mixed signals. He would talk about marriage and kids, but then keep me in the friend zone. Okay. Now, when women put men in the friend zone, it's no problem. Women put men in the friend zone for decades, and it's no problem. This man put her in the friend zone for 8 months, and she literally posted on social media. This is what I mean when I talk about accountability. This is what I mean. The audacity to be upset with a man keeping you in the friend zone. That's not a mixed signal. You are in the friend zone. You ain't in the halfway zone. You ain't in the intermediate zone. You in the friend zone. That's not a mixed signal. That's a clear signal. You are in the friend zone. Ladies, when y'all put men in the friend zone, you're clear, right? They're in the friend zone. So when this man put LOLO in the friend zone, why is it a mixed signal? You're in the friend zone. You ain't in the in-between zone, the halfway zone. You fully in the friend zone. That can be a 2-3. That can be a 1-3-1. That can be a 3-2. That could be a box one. Those are all zones. Those are all basketball zone terms. But that shouldn't be confusing. You are in the friend zone, and he's clear about it. He's talking to you about marriage and children, possibly hoping that you get the hint. But you don't get the hint because you're so stuck on yourself. I want to be married. I want children. But do you want to be a wife? He would talk. He would never make time. Let me start over. Tonight I blocked the guy I was talking to for 8 months. My heart just couldn't take it anymore. He gave me so many mixed signals. He would talk about marriage and kids, but then keep me in the friend zone. He would never make time to see me. He would never make time to see me. That is a clear indication that he doesn't want to be with you. Like, how is this a mixed signal? Like just think about how your ego has to be through the roof for you to think this is a mixed signal. He doesn't want to be with you, and he's clear about it. But you're so delusional that you're thinking in your mind, how could this guy not want to be with me? I know. He would never make time to see me. My heart is so heavy. I'm so exhausted Dating life. I have continually asked God to honor me with a godly man. I prayed for years with many tears for God to please allow me to find my husband. I even prayed if God didn't want me to be married to remove the desire from my heart. Listen, y'all, listen to me. God is not moved by any of this. You need to go to God, go to the throne boldly and say, God, I want to be a good wife. I want to be a wife to a good man. Lord, I'm willing to submit. Lord, I'm willing to make a house into a home. Why don't you speak that boldly like you did before them races? Before Lolo Jones got into them blocks of them races, she told herself, I'm going to do it. When she was training, she would say, I'm going to get a gold medal. I'm going to get a gold medal. She put in the hard work, the blood, sweat, and tears, the sacrifice, the not going out, the eating right. She sacrificed her whole life to be a top athlete. But when it comes to a man, Lord, I give it to you. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. You gave your blood, sweat, and tears to what you wanted. And now when you want a husband, now you're going to give it to God. That's not faith. That's not godly. That's not righteous. It's actually cowardly. It's cowardly to do so because you know good and well you got to be a good woman to get that man. You got to be a wife to get that man. He that findeth the wife findeth the good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. That means if you a woman, you shouldn't be looking for no man. You should be in position to get what? Found. How do you get found? By setting myself apart from the crowd. I'm looking like a wife when I leave the house. I'm not looking like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. I'm not looking like all these other women on social media. I'm looking like a wife. You best believe a wife looks different than the rest of these chicks on social media. But y'all love Black Girl Magic. Y'all want to be the boss chick. Y'all want a slay queen. Yes, queen. Y'all love feminism, and that's your problem. There's no self-respecting righteous man going to deal with it. He's not going to do it. I don't care what they tell you in them books, or on them talk shows, or on mainstream media. I don't care what they tell you. The type of man that not you only want, but the type of man you need is going to require you to be a righteous woman. So all this lace fronts and tapping this and all these chakras and crystals and all this sage and all these self-help books and all these boss chicks and all these CEOs and all that stuff, it don't mean nothing to a righteous man. He don't care about none of that. He looking right to your heart and he's saying, is she going to be a good wife? Is she going to be a good mother to my kids? Those are the questions he's asking. Not that foolishness. He looking all through it. That's smoking me. It's like Batman throwing them smoke bombs. Y'all seen the last Batman? Not the detective one, the one with Christian Bale. When he's about to fight Bane. Now, throughout all these Batman movies, his smoke bombs worked. All his little flash grenades worked. All of Batman's tricks worked until he faced Bane. And when he faced Bane, conveniently, none of his stuff from that belt worked. None of that stuff worked from his belt when he met Bane. You know why? Because he met the truth. And what did Bane do? Bane picked him up and Bane broke his back and then threw him down in that pit. Now, the problem with you ladies is y'all get y'all back broke and go down in that pit, but you make the pit like it's a condo. You make that pit that you're supposed to learn in look like it's beachfront property, and that's y'all problem. The lessons that you are required to learn, you all don't want to learn them because it requires self-development. And so what you do is you say, I ain't going to fix myself. I'm going to just hope a man falls for what I got, what I'm offering. And he's not. Not no real man. Not no real man. Not no real man. He broke Batman's back and put him in that pit. Now, Batman got a choice to make. I can stay down in this hole or I can climb out. But what it takes to get out that hole is character. So many women are wallowing in despair and depression because they're not in a relationship and they stand in that pit. The only difference is they're just making the pit look fun and they know it's not. Lolo Jones is miserable, but I'm glad she's showing her misery in front of the world. This is what a lot of women go through, but they got too much pride to show it. Now, what Lizzo is doing now It's the fourth quarter. It's 5 seconds left. It's fourth and 50. She throwing Hail Marys now, but it's not going to work. I told you all, God does not exist in desperation. I even prayed, if God didn't want me to be married, to remove the desire from my heart. How selfish is that? That desire in your heart is honorable because you should want to be a wife. Above all things in life to be, a man should want to be a husband and a woman should want to be a wife. Above all things to be, a man should want to be a husband and a woman should want to be a wife. Remove the desire from my heart so I can get a dog and die alone. But you got mad at Kevin Samuels for saying it, but she telling you right here. Remove the desire from my heart so I can get a dog, get IVF, and then have a baby and be a single mom. You got mad at Kevin for saying this, but you see one of your most celebrated women is telling you the same thing. I want to be married more and desire badly to have a family of my own, and I just keep getting my heart broke. That's the wrong attitude. That's the wrong attitude. Your desire should be to be a good wife, a good mother. That's your desire. Your desire is to be a good wife. You wanting to be married ain't good enough. So many of folks get married and that's it. You got to be a good wife, a great wife. The same energy, LOLO, you put towards your career is the same energy you can put towards being a wife. But you don't want to do it because all these feminists out here are telling you you good enough. I'm telling you now, ladies, you're not good enough. I'm not good enough. Nobody's good enough. In this thing called life, we are constantly growing. We are constantly improving. Constantly. It never stops till we leave this earth. So to say that you good is a narcissistic statement because you're not good. You can always improve. I am the table. No, you just ate everything on the table. I'm tired of playing around with this foolishness. Because you all are going to look up and you all are going to be the poster children for being single. And you're almost there. Y'all are at 27% marriage rate. 27%. And it's dwindling. 20%. Do you know what 5% marriage rate looks like? It's mass suicide. It's mass suicide. It's genocide. Because the women are going to be out there reckless. Just go on social media and look at the behavior of these women, these modern women. It's insane. I get teased all the time because I won't have premarital sex. Now she's a victim. Now, the first paragraph, she gave you her plea. Now she's a victim. I get teased all the time because I won't have premarital sex. That's not why you're getting teased, Lolo. You're getting teased because you're not a good woman. Now, you're a great businesswoman. You're a great athlete. You were probably a great entertainer. You're probably a good friend, but not a good woman. That's something different because a good woman qualifies you to be a wife. Ain't nobody teasing you because you saving yourself for marriage. Folks are teasing you because they see the real you and they know it's not going to work because you playing a game. You're not having sex for leverage. You're not honoring your temple to honor God. That's the difference. You're not honoring God in what you're doing. I can go to her bio right. I'm going to read her bio to you. Guys will DM me that I'm old, I'm washed up, I should just put out already, so I'm just crying out. Now, why is it when the guys get in your DM and tell you that you washed up and it's too late, you crumble, but when the people told you couldn't run this time, you ran it? When the people doubted you, when it came to your athletics, you proved them wrong. So why is it when it comes to you being a wife and a mother, you don't want to prove them wrong. I'll tell you, because that would require you to be a better woman. And it's a conflicting interest. What's up, Chado? And it's a conflicting interest. And the interest is you got society, the media, and the propaganda machine telling you that you're good enough and that you're better than a man. And then you got a righteous man over here, a godly man, saying you don't measure up. So who you gonna listen to? You gonna listen to Lizzo and Cardi B and Beyonce and Meg Thee Stallion? Or are you gonna listen to God? What does God say about being a good woman? So Lolo Jones, the one thing she can change is herself. And that's the easiest. But she won't do it. Because deep down inside, she believes if I do what God wants me to do, I won't win. See, believe it or not, most of these women out here are atheists. They don't really believe in God or God's power. What they believe in is a bartering system. Lord, I'm gonna do this, now you do this. Lord, I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna do what they said do it. And that's not how that works. God said, come to the throne boldly. God said it is impossible to please God without faith. So if you want to please God, Lolo, you got to have some faith. So I'm just crying out, where are you, God? Listen at this. Where are you, God? Now you all over the world doing what you want to do, having the best time of your life, designer bags, showing your body, and you ain't got no body, showing your body, being crazy on social media, doing what you want to do, being a center of attention, doing all that, and now you crying out asking where God is? You'd have been around the world 40 times, and now you asking where God is. The audacity. The audacity. The audacity. Where are you, God? Your word says that John 14:14, if you ask me anything in my name, I will do it. Yes, God will do it. But you got to have faith. And you got to be righteous. Everybody loves to say that God knows my heart. So if God knows your heart, then that means the intent of your prayers are felt by God. So if you're praying to God and God knows your heart, then that means sometimes y'all are praying and it's a void prayer. It's a voided check. A lot of y'all prayers go to God and it's a bounce check. And a lot of y'all keep sending God them bounce checks, and then one day you're going to wake up and then ain't nothing finna get answered. Then you finna get arrested. You bring one more bad check in here, I'm calling the police. A lot of y'all prayers is bad checks going to God. I'm asking God to please honor the desire of my heart. Your word says 2 are better than 1. Ecclesiastes 4:9-12. I'm just asking God to honor my heart because faith is hurting right now. This ain't faith. This is desperation. This is pleading. This ain't faith. You ain't waking up every morning saying, I will be a good wife to a righteous man. That ain't your affirmation statement when you wake up in the morning, Lolo. That is not what Lolo Jones is saying. When I wake up in the morning, my affirming statement is, I'm going to be a great wife to a great man. I'm going to be a great mother with a great husband to raise our great children. Those are not her affirming statements. She at night pleading with God. Please send me a man. Please. And guess what? God's sending you a whole bunch of men, but they ain't worth nothing because you're telling your heart ain't worth nothing. So it's you getting what you asked for, and now you upset. You mad at a man that put you in the friend zone. You mad that a man is being honest with you. That lets me know you're not a good woman. That should be honorable to you for a man to not play games with you. For a man to, guess what? I'm not going to come see you. You are my friend, and we're gonna talk about marriage and life. Now, a lot of y'all women could win. You know, back in the day, they used to go to the king and throw themselves on the mercy of the king's court. It happens in the modern day too. They throw themselves on the mercy of the court. If y'all want to get married so bad, why are you all not throwing yourselves on the mercy of the man? If you believe a man is a husband, if you believe he's honorable, if you believe he's righteous, if you believe he's a king, then why not throw yourself on the mercy of the man? Why not say, I just want to be your wife? And coming to America, he said, what do you like? She said, whatever you like. Look, I know what I like, but what do you like? Whatever you like. Y'all thought that was male chauvinistic and submissive to women. But if your goal is to sit next to the king and rule over the kingdom with him, then that's what it takes to bark like a dog. I know it sounds bad, but that's what it takes is for you to bark like a dog. Blanche, are you telling a woman to be a dog? I'm telling you, to whom much is given, that much more is required. So if you want to sit next to a king and rule over a kingdom, that's the requirement. You got to be groomed for that. So since we don't have any queen grooming schools around, you got to groom yourself, Lolo. You got to groom yourself to be a wife. And that's going to require you to sit down somewhere and develop some character. Develop doing things simply because it's the right thing to do, not because you're going to get an incentive. You're supposed to be a virgin whether you get married or not, because you're honoring God with your temple. You're supposed to be a wife whether you get married or not, because you're honoring God with your lifestyle. So again, what is your intent? Do these things without incentive. That's what being righteous is, to be in right standing with God. Not sitting here crying on social media, hoping some simp, hoping some weak man, hoping some buster hits you up in your DM and say, I'll come save you. Ain't nobody gonna come save you, Lizzo. Ain't nobody ain't gonna save you. They told you that a long time ago. E40 in the clique told you, don't save her. She don't want to be saved. She don't want to be saved. She want to check a box. Wife, check. Mother, check. Here's a video of her cooking. I'm like, this girl you can't even, hold up, man. I'm just asking God to honor my heart because faith is hurting right now. I'm tired of getting teased. Look at it. You sound weak, like a little child. I'm tired of getting teased. To whom much is given, that much more is required. To whom much is given, Lolo, that much more is required. When they teased you about track, you proved them wrong and put yourself on the top of the world stage. But when they tease you about not being a wife and being a mother, you fold. It's cowardly. God does not honor this. I'm asking God, my Father, my protector, my provider, please show up, please honor me. Now you did everything you want to do. Now God is the Father, your protector, your provider. It sounds like game, don't it? I'm tired of getting teased. I'm asking God, my Father, my protector, my provider, please show up, please honor me. God says, come to the throne boldly. God never said, come to the throne pleading, ever. God never said, come to the throne groveling. If you come to the throne groveling and pleading, that means you don't have any faith. Even a person that throws himself on the mercy of the court still has faith that that's going to be honored. You don't have any faith, Lolo, and that's the problem. You don't have any faith, Lolo, and that is the problem. Let's listen to Lolo talk real quick. Let's hear her talk. Y'all tell me if it's faith or not. Y'all tell me if it's faith. You'll be able to listen on Instagram. If you want to watch, you got to come over here to. Hold on.
And I'm just getting mad. And I'm about to turn 40. There's a lot of stress on me right now.
I know it's all you've got to just be strong. And it's a fight just to keep it together. I know you think that you are too far.
Blood work came back normal. Hormone levels are normal. So we're gonna proceed with the process of building these eggs.
Hold on, don't let go.
I actually have another injection.
Hey, hold on, don't let go.
I really want a family. I've waited for my husband for so many years.
She said, I really want a family. I've waited for my husband for so many years. Well, people say cry out to God. But the problem with crying out to God is the crying out to God has to be after you've exhausted your faith. Your crying out to God should be after you've been faithful. Y'all are crying out to God before the faith part. That's the problem. The Bible says, though it tarries not. So y'all have to go through the tarrying process. So you can't cry out to God without exhausting everything, without all the fasting and all the praying and all the faith and all the living righteous. There's a lot that goes into before you just throw your hands up and say, God, come save me. Most folks don't do that. Most folks cry out to God to circumvent the character building process. So the person on here talking, you're going to get tricked by these women because you're not involving manly character principles. These women are going to deceive you. So I'm telling you now, make up in your mind right now, you're going to be a righteous man. That means you're going to stop having excuses. So you don't counter what I'm saying with a loophole. You say, I'm going to do what's right because it's the right thing to do. Y'all keep tiptoeing and playing, you're going to get deceived and tricked. These men are no different than these women in this delusion. They're no different. Even for a man to think, if I get all my ducks in a row, I'm going to get a good woman, that's not how it works. Because you got to be a good man to get a good woman. So stop looking for the loophole so you can get tricked and be up here looking sick, divorced, paying child support, looking crazy. Stop looking for the loophole, men, and have some honor and character and say, you know what? I'm going to do what's right because it's the right thing to do. I'm going to exercise faith and please God and let the chips fall where they may. That is a very bad trait in these men, like women trying to find a loophole. You're going to find it. You look for a loophole. Don't worry, you're going to find one. You're going to fall in it. Let's go to the next video.
The needle, and we're passing it past each of the follicles and draining all the fluid. The fluid comes up as black on ultrasound. Each of these little black, small little ponds of water has special fluid in it that may have an egg.
You're smiling. It's a smile to receive bad news or the smile to receive good news? Oh, wow. What the God is so good. I cannot believe it. Such an answered prayer. I am just so happy right now.
The needle.
So when a doctor tells you you got 27 eggs and 17 of them matured, now God is good. So let me get this straight. So God exists in the consolation prize, because the prize is to be married and have a family. But the consolation prize is for you to get the IVF. Now God is good. I told you all, God does not exist in desperation. That woman came to God to get healed, and he said, y'all act like a bunch of dogs. The Messiah told the woman, y'all act like a bunch of dogs. And she said, even the dogs can get scraps from the master's table. That's not desperation. That's conviction. That's honor. That's faith. Y'all ain't talking to God like that. And y'all ain't talking to a man like that either. And that's why y'all ain't winning. Even the dogs can get scraps from the master's table. Christ had to honor her because she didn't get offended. She didn't deny it. She said, you're right. But even the dog can get the scraps from the master's table. Woman, you are healed. That ain't desperation. That's called conviction. I'm telling y'all, LOLO she is a cautionary tale for you women. LOLO Jones is a cautionary tale for you women. I've seen LOLO go from Olympic qualifier. She don't have any medals, I don't think. Let me see. I don't think she has any medals, any Olympic medals. But maybe she does in the bobsledding. I don't know. I'm trying to look at her overall accomplishments. Let me see. LOLO Jones has. Let me put up a picture so y'all can. LOLO Jones has accomplished more than 99.9% of the population, yet she's miserable. Now, instead of getting mad at me, ask yourself why. I just saw a video where she said she gonna slide into old boy's DM. The guy that played Captain America, Chris Hemsworth or something. I forgot his name. Chris something. Stevens, I don't know. Whoever plays Captain America, she said if I get 30,000 likes on this post, I'm gonna slide in his DM. That ain't faith. That ain't God. If I get 30,000 likes, I'm gonna slide in his DM. I thought he didn't find the wife, find the good thing. Oh, I see. I see. LOLO Jones has a world indoor champion. She's gold in the 2008 60-meter hurdles, in 2010 Doha 60-meter hurdles. So two world indoor championships. IAF World Athletics Final gold in the 2008. NCAA championship, 2005, Costa Rica. No, I'm sorry. NACAC championship, 2015 in Costa Rica, 100-meter hurdles. And then the world championships, mixed teams, 2013, St. Moritz, I think that's bobsledding. And then 2021's Adamberg, 2 women. So Lolo Jones is All-American, went to the Olympics, all these things. Now, I ran track, but I wasn't very good. But I'm gonna tell you what Lolo's problem was when it came to track. Lolo's problem is she's always in her own head. And so what she does is she's in her own head so much to where she'll psych herself out. If you notice, she's always think about it. She goes on social media and she reads all the comments people say about her. Like she's really hard on herself. But she's not hard on herself when it comes to being a wife. She's hard when it comes to being in this world. That's the difference. So what I'm saying is her problem is she was always in her own head. And even now at 40, them demons that she's fed over the years are talking to her every night. Them demons are tormenting her. You'll never get married. You were never good enough in track. Listen, I know what she's going through. I know what she's going through. I know what she's going through. I know it. I know it. And the problem is that same philosophy of being in her own head and basically just yielding and giving up is the same way she deals with God. I just throw my hands up, Lord. Let your will be done. It's not how that works. That's not how that works. And God's not going to honor it. And a man ain't going to honor it either. And no man is going to honor it either. Lolo Jones could have been married. She could have been a wife. She could have been a mother. Lolo Jones could have been what she wanted to be. But she chose the world over being a wife. If she is this adamant about being a wife, then that should have been number 1 on her priority list. If she's this heartbroken over being a wife and being a mother, then that should have been number 1 on her priority list. Why did she go around the world 40 times if number 1 on the list was being a wife and being a mother? That lets you know what her priorities were. Her priorities weren't in being a wife or a mother. And guess what, ladies? These are the results that you are going to get. Is to be like Lolo Jones, in there shooting yourself with needles, trying to get your eggs scrambled. I digress. This next video, I didn't even listen to it. So I don't know what the take is going to be on it, but we're going to listen to it and see. I just saw the beginning where she said that Black women are not submissive. So I just went in and cut it off things. I wanted to watch it with you all to get a real-time reaction to it. Okay, let's go.
And because of that reason, our Black men are going to those different nationalities to find a woman. Those women know where they come from. They know their culture. They're taught their culture. And within that culture, it's taught to them that you're supposed to be submissive to your man. Being a Black woman living in America, right? So what is our culture? What are we being taught here? You're taught to be dominant. You're taught to take care of yourself and by any means necessary. You're not taught to be submissive. There's no one in the household that your mom is being submissive to. So you don't see that. That's why the Black man is going to different. Okay, I have no argument for that. However, I have no problem with being submissive, but that is something that we are not taught. So you have to teach yourself that. You have to educate yourself on that. And not every man is going to be worth you being submissive to. So
So here goes the problem. When it comes to submission, right? We learn submission by submitting to God. Because everybody submits. The most non-submissive woman in America is submitting to a man somewhere, whether it's her boss, whether it's some guy she's sleeping with, whether it's whoever, she's submitting. When these women talking about submission, they're talking about being a wife. This is the confusion and disconnect. There's a such thing, everybody submits to something. You're submitting to something, men and women. But the question is, are you going to submit to your husband, not a man? Are you going to submit to your husband? This is the issue. So there should never be a low character man or a man of low honor, no character, no backbone, a coward. You should never have submitted to that type of man in the first place, because first of all, you should have never even entertained him. That's the first problem, is entertaining these low character men. That's the first. The second thing is, why are you submitting to a low character man? You're submitting to him because you're going to get something out of the deal. What is that? I get to continue being reckless. So there's a reason why you all submit to the Futures and the Chris Browns and the Nick Cannons and the Derrick Jacksons, and you don't submit to the righteous man. There's a reason why. Because the righteous man is going to do what? First and foremost, hold you accountable. Hold you to a standard. But guess what? Not his standard. He's going to hold you to God's standards. So you can't even get mad at him. You got to get mad at God. So you all submit to a bunch of men. All these baby mamas out here, a lot of submission took place. With all these baby mamas running around in our community, a lot of submission is taking place. With all these horror stories with datings and baby daddies, with all these horror stories I hear, a lot of submission took place. So don't tell me y'all ain't willing to submit. Y'all just don't want to submit to a righteous man, and that's your problem. But y'all are submitting. In other women's culture, now what black women have done is, I'm going to say black women, black girl magic, feminism. They said that when a black man goes outside of his race, he's doing it because of the woman's race. That's not true. All men have certain requirements and needs that are put in them by God. Men want to be respected. Men want admiration, and men want sexual gratification. These are things that men actually want. That's in them to want. So those three things give a man his ultimate goal, and that's what? Peace. Those three things gives a man peace. Now, what you all are saying is he's going outside of his race because he can't handle black girl magic. He wants the woman that he can walk all over. At the end of the day, what men are asking women to do is not what women invest their blood, sweat, and tears in. You don't hear men saying, I want women to have long hair, to have long eyelashes, to have long nails, to have BBLs, to have breast implants. Men aren't asking for that. I told you what men want: to be respected. They want admiration. They want sexual satisfaction. That's what's core in a man. So what you all are doing is you all are investing in everything that a man's not asking for. So the reason why black men go outside of their race is because of culture. It's not race. Why would you expect a man to have two options to choose from. This woman respects me for something that was put in her at birth. This woman tells me she got to work on respecting me. She got to get to the point where she can submit. Why would he pick the project? It doesn't make any sense. Why would the man pick the project when he can pick a woman that's saying, I don't have a problem submitting or respecting men? Somebody said, what do women want? Women want security. Women want non-sexual affection. Women want love. You notice that the number one thing for a man is respect, but it's not for a woman. Women that stay in many relationships where they get disrespected. It ain't for a woman, because men and women are built different. The woman is to respect the man is to love the woman. Now, of course, you all love each other. We're talking about the priority of needs of the men and the women. Somebody said black man culture is to be a hoe. If black man culture is to be a hoe, then why do black men get married more than black women? If black man culture is to be a hoe, then why are there more black single mothers than there are black single fathers? Sound crazy, don't it? How could there be more black? Because these women are having multiple children with the same men. That's why. Somebody said, lies, I want affection. See, look, feminists can't help it. Listen, fellas. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If you're talking to a woman about anything and she utters out of her mouth, what about men? What do men have to do? Do not date her. Because that type of mentality is a non-accountability mindset. That mindset says, I don't have to be accountable unless a man is. And accountability should start in here. I'm accountable because I am accountable. I don't care what men or women do. So when women talk to you like that, fellas, that is a red flag. That means she will not be accountable. Take that advice. If they bring up what a man is doing and what men have to do not date her. I'm telling you now, she is a feminist. She is a feminist. Don't listen to her. There's no way in the world somebody is talking with me and I'm bringing up somebody else. There's no way. But I can tell when women are single. I can tell. I can tell when women are married happily and women are single. I can tell just based on the way they talk. And most women haven't figured out that when you open your mouth, a man can tell whether you're a good woman or not. It's not going to be hard for him to do so. The Bible does say it. Somebody said, I'm married, and in most marriages, women love sex with emotion. Again, when I talk about non-sexual affection, you're only going to have sex for a certain period of time. Let's say an hour out of the day. That's sex. There's 23 more hours in the day. So that means the number one need of a woman ain't that 1 hour. It's non-sexual affection. I'm telling you what it is. You can have the best sex in the world for an hour. There are still 23 other hours in the day. How is he going to treat you during them 23 hours? We can go to the Bible, though. Go to the Bible. We can go to the Bible. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Let's see what they say. Let me go to first. Let me go to chapter. Let me go to chapter. Go to chapter. Giving thanks always. Okay, well, let me go to chat. Let me go to Ephesians 5, verse 17. Wherefore, be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Verse 20, giving thanks always for all things unto God and the Father in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. So your submission to your spouse is for God. Remember when I said, are you a virgin because you want to find leverage in the dating market, or you want to honor God? So we see the scripture says, submitting yourselves one to another in the fear of God. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. So now we see that how you submit to God, ladies, is how you submit to the husband. Somebody said, I'm married, and if I couldn't have sex with my husband, I would still be with him. That's because she's getting non-sexual affection. That is why she can utter such a statement. I'm married, and if I couldn't have sex with my husband, I would still be with him. A lot of women out there withhold sex from their husband for whatever reason. So sex ain't the issue. They withholding sex. She wants something else. She wants that non-sexual attention and affection. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Therefore, the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything. So now we see, ladies, that your relationship with God is a reflection of your relationship with a man. Ladies, your relationship with God is a reflection of your relationship with a man. So when I talk to you all and listen to you all, I can already tell you got a poor relationship with God. It's easy to tell just based on the way you talk. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. Now notice when God is speaking, right? God goes for the woman first. Woman, you're supposed to do this. Then he goes to the man. Why? Because when it comes to the man, the stakes are raised because the man is the leader. So you see, when it comes to the man, husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. So now you see that the man's duty to the wife is his life. even death. This is why you're supposed to submit to a man. This is why. Because it's honorable to submit to someone that will give you their life. That's why. It's honorable to submit to someone that would risk their life and give their life for you. That's why you submit. Because it's honorable. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth. Hold on, my bad. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word, that he might present it to himself as a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be a holy and without blemish. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. They telling you the book is wrong, but how many women would want to be with a man that loved her like he loved himself? Even to the point where he will put her above himself. How many women would want a man? So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. How many women want a man like that? 99.9% of them. Even the Transformers want that. So my question is, how do you think you're going to get this and you don't submit to a man? It's not honorable. It's not honorable. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. And y'all are talking about you can't submit. Y'all are saying you want to be married, but you don't want to be a wife. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it. This is why men shouldn't be sleeping around. It's going to be hard to see a woman as a worthy sacrifice if I'm running the streets. If I'm sleeping with this woman and that woman, it's hard to distinguish this woman from that woman. So it's hard to even fully honor a woman if I'm sleeping with all these women. This is why we shouldn't be fornicating. Because once you pick the wife, fellas, you got to be willing to lay down your life for her. So you best believe, or you better make sure that the choice you make better be a good one. Because picking that woman as your wife is going to require your life. You are going to have to love her like you love yourself. You're going to have to treat her like Christ did the church. This is why men shouldn't be sleeping around. This is why I don't listen to all these feminists but try to talk to me about what men got to do. Because I know what real men do. I know that most women run around here entertaining bums constantly. If I go through your track record, you done dated bum after bum after bum after bum. And then after the 20th bum, you come to me and tell me you can't submit because you wasn't taught. You done submitted 20 times to these bums. You gave him $1. You gave him $1. You had $21 in your pocket. You gave each bum $1. Now you left with $1 to give to me. It's not going to work. You should have gave me $21. It's not honorable. This is why you submit. Because when you submit to the man, he's going to lay down his life for you. And I can guarantee that most of you all have never had a man to say, I'm willing to die for you. Because it's honorable. Prince had a song, I would die for you. Listen to the lyrics. Listen to the lyrics. Listen to the lyrics. Listen what he's saying. I'm not a woman. I'm not a man. I am something that you'll never understand. I'll never beat you. I'll never lie. And if you're evil, I'll forgive you by and by. Because I would die for you. Come on, man. Y'all playing. Y'all struggling with submission. And the righteous man is going to give you his life. LOLO Jones is a cautionary tale for you women. You cannot give all you have to the world and give what's left over to a righteous man. That's not going to work, because you marrying that righteous man is you honoring God. How are you going to honor God with the leftovers? You can't do it. You got to honor God with the first fruits, with your best. So if LOLO Jones really cared about being married, she would have been married, because she would have put being a wife and a mother over the world, and she didn't. Now she's 40 years old, and the wall is approaching. And guess what? She's going to run smack right into it, because she doesn't have enough humility to say, I need to be a better woman. One more video, and then we go. One more video, and we go. Two more videos. I'm sorry, y'all. Two more videos.
Potential. You know what potential means? How do you define potential?
Almost, but not quite.
You're right. Potential means you ain't doing nothing now. And the only thing you can bank on is what's going on right now. You can't bank on what might happen.
He made me laugh. He was funny. He was gorgeous. I was very attracted to him.
So why didn't you just marry him for that instead of what might happen?
I thought we can work on it together and just fix, I can fix what he needed to be fixed. And if I had anything.
But who said he wanted to be fixed?
That's where I made my mistake. There's a few things I didn't like about him when I first married him, but I thought I could change him.
Many women convince themselves that they can change a man to become who they want him to be. By doing so, they bypass the step of getting to know their partner in a meaningful way, in part because they haven't made the effort to get to know themselves. And I suspect this is the case with Miss Mallory. It's a common mistake that women make. They manipulate men, but that's a clear sign of a controlling person. And it's a clear sign of a problem relationship.
Met my husband, and we got married within 2.5 months of dating. He had the potential of being.
This woman said that she married this man after 2.5 months of dating. And I can guarantee they were having sex, because there's no way she would have married him after 2.5 months unless he touched that spot. You see, once he touched that spot, all she saw was Neo saw the code in the Matrix. That's all she saw. So that's how you get tricked, ladies. Because some of these men out here got what they call that good wood. And they put that good wood on you, you're done. Y'all saw when Neo got in the Matrix and he saw the code. Y'all gonna see the code. You ain't gonna see what's going on, you're gonna see the code. Now she done invested her life with this man, hoping that he changed, and he ain't gonna change. So ladies, it's best that you all make the wise choice and decision when you decide to marry a man. Not off potential, not off what could be, not off what should be, based on what is. What is that man presenting to you? What is he showing you? Is he showing you that he will give you his life? Is he showing you that he will be honorable? Is he showing that he will be a great father and great? Is he showing you this? If he's not showing it to you, then first of all, number one, you shouldn't be sleeping with him. And number two, you shouldn't be marrying him. And number three, you shouldn't be getting pregnant by him. This is why I say avoid all of that and don't sleep with him so you can see clearly and not see that matrix code. And you heard what Ayana said. This is why she was getting death threats. She told her, you manipulative. It's manipulation. You're getting with a guy in hopes of changing him. That's manipulation. You're getting with a guy hoping he becomes how you want him to be. That's manipulation because you're deceiving him. You're not telling the man, listen, my plan is to change you into what I want you to be. He ain't gonna marry you. So what you do is you just lie to him and deceive him. You can't cheat the system. You cannot cheat the system. Next video.
When you're not having sex with a woman, you're not obligated to go on dates. You're not obligated to call every day. You're not obligated to spend time with her. The ball is in your court. But now imagine after you have sex with a woman, what happens? What happens after you have sex with her? This woman feels like you need to be spending time with her. You need to be on the phone with her. She needs to hear from you every day, every other day. You got to spend some money on her. You got to stop talking to these women for her. It's so many things that come with sex. And when you cross that line, when it goes from friendship to situationship, the whole dynamic to change. Some women I just don't even touch because I understand what comes with it. And I let women know off the top, like, listen, I am not the relationship type. I am the fun guy. So before we even cross that line, understand that that is not me. And you could tell a girl that, but they still not gonna understand. You can say that shit in one ear, it's gonna go out the other. You can say, oh, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for that. I don't want this. This is what I'm on. Yeah, but as soon as you start hitting, as soon as you start smacking, they ain't hear none of that shit. They going about how you treating them. When you fucking them good, you giving it to them. Oh, they think you love them. Think about what all comes with sex. When you're not having sex with a woman, you're not obligated to go on dates. You're not obligated to call every day. You're not obligated to spend time with her. The ball is in your court. But now imagine after you have sex with a woman, what happens? What happens after you have sex with her? This woman feels like you need to be spending time with her. You need to be on the phone with her. She needs to hear from you every day, every other day. You got to spend some money on her. You got to stop talking to these women for her. It's so many things that come with sex. And when you cross that line, when it goes from friendship to situationship, the whole dynamic to change. Some women I just don't even touch because I understand what comes with it. And I let women know off the top, like, listen, I am not the relationship type. I am the fun guy. So before we even cross that line, understand that that is not me. And you could tell a girl that, but they still not gonna understand. You can say that shit in one ear, it's gonna go out the other. You can say, oh, I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for that. I don't want this. This is what I'm on. Yeah, but as soon as you start hitting, as soon as you start smacking, they ain't hear none of that shit. They going about how you treating them. When you fucking them good, you giving it to them. Oh, they think you love them. Think about what all comes with sex. When you're not having sex
My bad, y'all. My mic was off. Now, I don't agree with, I agree with what he's saying. I don't agree with his practices, but I agree with what he's saying. I just unmuted it. But I will say that I respect his honesty, and what he's saying is true. He's basically saying that even if I tell women I'm the fun guy, they're still going to sleep with me expecting a relationship. And that's because a lot of times women use sex as leverage. It's a leverage play. The same way Lolo Jones wasn't having sex as leverage is the same way women do have. It's a leverage play. It's to say, I can require this from you because we're doing this or because I'm not doing this. I can make these demands and requirements. And the problem is, ladies, is that you all shouldn't be sleeping with him in the first place. If a guy tells you, I am not going to be with you, and you sleep with him, then there is manipulation involved because you're thinking in the back of your mind, I can change what he's doing. That's manipulation. Your intent is still revealed. You know, sex doesn't mean a lot to men. Sex means the most to men, honestly, when the woman that they love is having sex with somebody else. That's when sex matters the most. When a woman that the man loves and cares about is sleeping with somebody else, that's when the sex really matters. But for the most part, men are able to compartmentalize sex from, all other things. But, mastering your lust as a man takes discipline. It takes, extreme discipline. And part of that discipline, comes with you valuing your body, yourself as a man, and also valuing women, and you seeing women as God's children and not something to play around with. But yeah, that's when men care about sex the most, when that woman is somebody, being with somebody else. Otherwise, he can have sex all day and not have a care in the world. But it's character involved. I got one more video, and then I'll be done. I give my last little rant to let you all know what's come from all of this. So because women have not wanted to be accountable, this is what happens. Now you understand that the trans community, now I believe the girl that this person's talking to is the girl from Family Matters. Now again, I'm gonna say this again, ladies. No self-respecting man is going to deal with you if you support this nonsense. The statement was, men are the new women. This is what they're saying in the LGBTQP, don't forget XYZ community. And I told you all they were going to take over not only Black culture, but also take over women. The irony of women fighting all this time for quote unquote liberation just to have men get y'all in the end anyway. But this is what you get, because the intent behind the movements weren't ever righteous. They weren't righteous movements. Again, ladies, the most important thing you should be looking at is who you're going to be married to. And the same with the men. Who am I going to attach myself to for life? Who am I going to choose to honor God with for life? So what I'm saying is, you ladies, this is your fault. Because you all endorsed and pushed and sanctioned and supported all this trans foolishness, and this is the result. Men are the new women. Remember, Jay-Z and them said 40 is the new 30. All that. So but again, we're going to listen to this video, And I'm going to let you all know what happened when you all lowered your standard of being a woman. This is what happens. When you lower your standards, the transformers can come in. Otherwise, they couldn't. That's why you see more transformers now than back in the day, because women were more feminine and womanly and more respected back then. So it would be harder for these trans to emulate women, but they can emulate Cardi B. They can emulate Meg Thee Stallion and Beyonce. They can imitate them. It's not difficult. But they can't imitate your grandmother. They can't imitate your aunties. They can't imitate the actual pillars in our community that were women. They can't imitate them. All they can imitate is this modern black girl magic culture. That's all they can imitate. They can imitate nothing else. But let's listen.
Baby, take your butt to the men's room. Right. We're not playing that game. Right. Now, if you're looking like, now let's be honest, if you saw me walking down the street and you didn't know me, you would think I'm just a natural born female. Right. Baby, you look better than 99% of them born females.
They say now, the men are the new women.
Oh, absolutely. That's very true. Yes. Who says that? I've never heard that all the time.
That's the way of the world.
They're bitchy, baby. World.
That's just like the status quo. Well,
I don't really like that because I don't want to say I'm a man. Like, no, I feel like I identify myself as a woman. My mind is a woman. My body is a woman. And no, I'm not a man.
You know what, Sydney?
And I don't look at Sydney and say that's a man.
You know what, Sydney? Because I'm very straight to the point. Only because you come across very much like a woman, I'll give you that.
Now, honey, if you're walking in the
So now you have a man, you have a gay man, and you have a trans man speaking on the behalf of women, and you have two heterosexual black women condoning it and supporting it. This is the problem. This is the monster that you all created. There's no way in the world a straight man, is going to sit in the room and let some women say they are men in front of their presence. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because, like I said, men hold men accountable. But because women don't hold women accountable, this is what happens. Now you got two women that I can guarantee are single that want a good man, but if a good man watches this clip and he sees these two women on here supporting this, he's not going to deal with you because he knows that this type of thinking and behavior spills over into the household. A man knows that this type of behavior, this type of endorsement spills over into the household. For these women to say that this transformer is a real woman based on surgery and clothes is disgusting. It's a disrespect to my grandmothers, great-grandmothers, mother, aunts, sisters, cousins, nieces. It's a slap in the face and a stomp with a boot and a piss and spit on for all the women I've known in my life. But you have these women endorsing it. You have these women celebrating it. This is the problem. No good man, no righteous man, no honorable man, no man with any self-respect is going to deal with the woman that endorses this. He's not. So while you all are out there supporting all these transformers and all this stuff, just know that the men are watching and they're not going to deal with it. See, the problem is many of our women are so egotistical and narcissistic, they can't even see that there's an agenda to replace them. White women will fight this tooth and nail. White women fight this. Black women don't. Black women don't fight. White women fight this kind of stuff. Black women don't. There's an agenda to replace you all. Men are the new women. And then the Transformer star says, oh, that's not good enough because I'm a full woman. And there are two women who want to be with a man and saying, yep, you are. There's no self-respecting man that's going to deal with it. So ladies, I'm letting you know, ladies, right now, if you're out there supporting slut walks and trans movements and all, if you're out there supporting that stuff, city girl culture, hot girl summer culture, all that, a real man, a God-fearing man is not going to deal with you because he knows that is something that you will not shut on and off. That's going to spill into the household. So we're going to listen one more time so y'all can get the magnitude of what's being said. Then we're going to close out. And keep in mind, this person that's a transformer is saying that other transformers can't come in the bathroom with him unless they look like him. So now you got the trans discriminated against other trans based on how they look. This is crazy. But this is your fault, ladies. Because Black Girl Magic is in this room and endorsing this. And no self-respecting man is going to deal with you endorsing this foolishness. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Bathroom with a looking like Ice Cube dress on. Baby, take your butt to the men's room. Right. We not playing that game. Right. Now, if you're looking like, now let's be honest, if you saw me walking down the street and you didn't know me, you would think I'm just a natural born female. Right. Baby, you look better than 99% of them born females.
You know they say now, the men are the new women.
Oh, absolutely. That's very true. Yes. Who says that? I've never heard that all the time.
That's the way of the world.
They're bitchy, baby. World.
That's just like the status quo of the streets.
I don't really like that because I don't want to say I'm a man. Like, no, I feel like I identify myself as a woman. My mind is a woman. My body is a woman. And no, I'm not a man.
You know what, Sydney?
And I don't look at Sydney and say that's a man.
You know what, Sydney? Because I'm very, like, straight to the point. Only because you come across very much like a woman, I'll give you that.
Now, honey, if you're walking in the back.
I'm going to say this right now. You know, somebody said in here, I stand with all the real women. And I'm going to say this right now. My goal is for us to win, really everybody to win. And my goal is for families because what's under attack is the family. Because the man, woman, the child is God on the earth. That's why God puts so much emphasis on a marriage because that's why when you get married, you're honoring God. You're choosing to submit to another person like you submit to God. So the man, woman, and the child is God on this earth. And so my goal is for all those that want to be married to get married. But the only way to get married is to be accountable. And without accountability, you can't have any love. So at the end of the day, let Lolo Jones be a cautionary tale for you all. That it's not about what you want. It's not about what you desire. It's about what your intent is and what you're willing to do. What standard are you willing to meet? Are you willing to meet God's standards, or are you going to do it the world's way and keep losing? And God's standards is that we do things with a pure heart, with pure intentions. Our motivations are through love. Now, we've seen this thing escalate to a level unbelievable, where now the trans community is saying that they are women. What's next? If they're saying they're women now, then tomorrow they're going to be better than women. And then the next day they're going to be oppressing you all. That's where this is headed. This is headed to oppression of regular women. This is headed to the oppression of biological women by men saying they're women. you put yourselves right back under the oppressive boot of a man. So this time, instead of it being a boot, it's going to be a high heel. Instead of this time it being a boot, it's going to be a high heel. They're going to look just like you, and they're going to be oppressing you. So our goal, ladies, should be to ask God, not for a husband, but ask God, am I meeting the standard to be a wife? And if I'm not meeting the standard, dear Lord, then give me the strength to be a wife. God, give me the strength to be a wife, to be a good wife, to be a great wife. Go to the throne boldly. Don't ask God to bring you no husband. Ask God to give you the strength to be a great wife, and I guarantee everything's going to change. Listen, I love you all so much, and I thank y'all for tuning in with me. I hope y'all have a great and wonderful day, and I will see you all in a couple of days. Thank y'all so much. Bye, YouTube.